We should be good now.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get some water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. This thing. Perfect. All right. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Nick, and today we have a special guest with us. This is Charlie. This is Mike's daughter, and I thought it'd be a great way to get a perspective of the child's view on her dad coming out and her thoughts on the age gap relationship. So, Charlie, introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Charlie, and I am 18. I just graduated high school, and I work full time. I am waiting to join the Air Force. I've already enlisted, but I'm waiting for basic training, and
She's going to be a firefighter in the Air Force.
yeah, I hope to be if I make it. But yeah.
We all pray. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, this is Pearl. I know you already have seen her in a ton of other videos. She's sort of like our couch lap comfort dog when we're doing these couch interviews.
Yeah.
I think she should be a permanent guest because she's just like very calming.
Oh yeah, she's ready for the camera.
I know. And she just went to the groomers. So, okay, so in today's video, I basically have two main points that we want to talk about. First one is, what was your dad's, when your dad ended up coming out, okay, and how that whole situation played out. What was your experience with it? What was your thoughts? And kind of like, what were you thinking at that time?
Well, my dad never really formally came out to us. It was just kind of like a slow realization. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just learned what being gay was, because for a while I never really thought about it. And then...
Well, wait, what grade were you in?
I think I was in 6th grade. I was in middle school.
Okay.
And, you know, my parents had just gotten divorced. And there was a guy who started, you know, he was around a lot. And he was living with us, or he was at least coming over a lot. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then eventually I was like, okay, wait, I think this is like a relationship type thing and not like just a friendship who's just a guy who's just living here. But honestly, I didn't really have like a, oh my gosh, that's crazy reaction. I was just kind of like, okay. And then my dad and I did talk about it a little bit. He did say that he was bi. And a little bit around that time too, I was learning a bit more about myself, and learning that I myself was bisexual. So I was like, this is kind of comforting for me. And yeah.
Okay. And so do you feel like you had friends growing up, other people may have found out about it. Did you get any type of like backlash, or were friends being like negative or mean or anything like that? Or was everyone kind of supportive?
All my friends are very like especially like in high school, we're all part of like a same group, and we all like, there was a club at our school, and it was the Gay Straight Alliance, or GSA, and a lot of us went to that. All my friends are very supportive of each other.
Okay.
And like when I told them, they were like, okay, like your dad's bi, that's really cool. But yeah. So like, they were all supportive.
So were you like so I remember, I think it was the Gay Straight Alliance. And that is basically for anybody that is, it could be an ally, right? It could be anybody that's gay, bi, whatever it may be, trying to figure out their sexual identity. Is that what it basically is? Like a club?
Yeah, and we worked a lot with the Pride, I guess not company, or like
the Pride Center?
Yeah, the Pride Center.
For like the city?
Yeah. So we would they would talk about the events that they had going on. There were some presentations and informational stuff about like gay people in history, and like animations, like how cartoons show or represent the LGBTQ community. So it's like informational. A lot of our friends went there. We made friends there, and it was just like a very comforting place. We also just hung out there. Like one time I remember we made cupcakes.
Okay, big baker. She's a big baker, by the way.
Oh, I try my best.
She works in the bakery at the store she works at.
Yeah.
Right? You still there?
Yeah.
Because I know she transferred from where we're at now when she moved up north to northern Florida. And so at that store, she's still in the bakery.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. I forgot what cake you made before you left, but it was like, you made a strawberry one?
I made strawberry. I made vanilla. I made a carrot cake too.
The carrot cake.
carrot
That was
cake.
so good.
I'm gonna bring that back for my dad's birthday.
Are you really?
Yeah, but don't tell him.
It's Mike's birthday coming up, and she's gonna make that cake.
You can't tell him.
We have to whisper because he's in the other room. Okay, awesome. So that'll be really good. Well, that is basically with your dad coming out. What I wanted to ask you. Do you have any other things you want to talk about with it, or you can think of?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, it wasn't like a crazy reaction. I kind of like, I mean, if he kind of just showed up one day and was like, "Hey, I'm bi and this is my boyfriend," I would have probably been a little bit more shocked. But I was kind of used to him living there.
Okay.
And he didn't really, like I said, come out until later, or we didn't talk about it until later. So I was kind of like a warming up. I got used to it type of thing before it actually like he came out.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll lead into the next question. Obviously, me and your dad are together.
Yeah.
It's an age gap relationship, which isn't like super normal. You know, it's not like you see it all the time. And so I was just wondering, what were your thoughts on, first, what's your thoughts on age gap relationships? And then we'll go into your dad and our relationship and what you thought about it. So first, what is your thoughts on age gap relationships in general?
Honestly, I don't think that they're weird or abnormal. I think it starts to get weird if like somebody's like maybe just 18 or like early 20s, and then the other person is like I don't know, double, twice, triple their age or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a little like iffy because like I said, they're just 18. But if they're like, you know, over like, I don't know, like 25, 30, 40, whatever, and they're with somebody like a couple years or like twice their age, I don't really like their relationship. I mean, like if they're both happy, then that's, like I said, their relationship. So
right, it's their business and stuff like that. Okay, so what is your thoughts when you found out that me and your dad were together? And obviously, yeah, we just discussed the age gap. So what was your thoughts about us getting together?
I mean, at first I was a little confused, but then I was like, oh, okay, they're together, that's cool. And yeah, like I've actually had like a lot of people ask me about like, oh, what do you think about your dad and Nick? And honestly, like you're cool. Like I know that you care about me, and like that's one of the biggest things. Like if you didn't care about me or you just kind of ignored me or stuff like that, I'll probably be a little more like, okay. But I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. My dad's happy. He seems happy. He's an active person, and you're also an active person. So I think that suits really well. And yeah, I think when it comes to both my parents, as long as they're happy, that's like one of the biggest things for me, because like they deserve happiness. And so like,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. That was actually a really good answer.
Thank you.
As I was like, oh God, I hope it's not super negative.
No. But yeah, I just like, I care about my parents, and I know they care about me, and as long as I'm happy or they're happy, we're all good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was always like curious about it because well, last time we had the episode where I was talking to your dad on the couch, and I was like, one of the hardest things for me coming into an age gap relationship where there's family dynamics involved is like, well, my whole life it's always just been me, and I had a partner before this, and it was like just me and him. So there was like no kids, right? So it's like, okay, I get off of work. It's like, hey, what do you want to eat? Like, I'll just stop by and grab it, or just worry about my own meal, you know? And your dad was like, okay, you gotta like think about like a family, you know? And it's weird because you're the new person like coming into this family and there's kids involved, and you're like, okay, I guess I gotta try to take the chicken out of the freezer in the morning so it can thaw out, so that when the kids get out of school, you know, I don't want your dad having to have all of the responsibility, you know? So that was like a new shift for me, you know? And then it's like, oh my God, what do they think of me? Like, I don't want them thinking like I'm some like freaking gold digger or something, you know what I mean? Like, no, like real thoughts. Cause like, what do you think, like if you look at like celebrities, right? Or you look at people that are like maybe 70 and their partner's like 25 or something. It's like, oh, she's really hot and why would he and her be together?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
obviously there's something that's got to be involved. Now I thought that way for a long time,
Mhm.
and I still kind of do feel that way, but I'm like learning because it's not that way for me and Mike. So
Yeah.
it's like it can't be that way for everybody.
Yeah.
But I could understand what I'm trying to say is like I could understand where other people's perspectives are coming from.
Mhm.
So that was just really interesting, like coming into the family dynamic,
Yeah.
especially of an age gap relationship, because they're already like grown. Now, if they were
Yeah.
like 5 or 6, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys were like younger and like, I don't know if it would have been easier or if it would have been like growing up with you in a type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to go to like a sporting event or something. Like I could drive you there, but like you're already driving. So like
Yeah.
you're already
yeah.
doing,
Okay.
I'm not taking on like that parental role.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it would be the same thing as in like, I don't know, like your parents are divorced or like you don't have one of their parents or something like that, and then you get like a step parent. I think it would be like the same thing like that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't think it would be too different. It would just be like, oh, this person's like a little younger. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is another question I have. I didn't tell her I was going to ask this question at all. What did you think when I told you about my YouTube channel, or you saw my YouTube channel?
Actually, yeah, you told me about it first, and at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then I think you told me about it again, and I was like, okay, and I looked up your channel, and I looked through like a couple of your videos, and like I watched some of them, like especially like the more recent ones about like your trip to Bali and Singapore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because my dad was like, oh, you should check out Nick's videos, and I was like, okay. Like he would send me pictures, and he'd be like, oh yeah, but you should watch the video, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it.
Right.
But like sometimes, like I watched the How to Walk a Dog one too.
Which I can't even believe it like took off, because I was like, this is the dumbest video, but people love it.
Pearl's
She's so
cute.
amazing.
I mean, people love dogs.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Pearl's amazing. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and I think like now, I like with the vlogs and stuff. Like I think it's really cool, and I like watching it. It's something that I would probably watch.
Yeah. Yes. It makes me feel good.
yeah.
I'm trying to get better at it. So
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, it is. So you like the channel?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
And like I'm glad like I said, I think I told you before that my dad, like I like watching him in the videos because he's like not a big screen person. Like he'll take pictures and stuff, but he gets kind of awkward, and it's kind of funny watching him because I'm like,
yeah,
Dad,
because you know like all his mannerisms and like the stuff he does. So like when he'll pop his head into the video and he's like, wait, maybe I'm not supposed to be in the shot, and he'll pop out.
He's funny.
He is. He's really awesome. I love him. Like he's like the biggest heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just means a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you were able to see it.
Yeah.
Because for a while I was like, oh my God, I don't want to show them my channel. Like, what if they think I'm like weird or like, you know, like, I don't know. And is there anything you want to say to the viewers? Obviously, most of them are in the LGBT community. Before we end the interview couch talk.
Okay. I guess like, I don't know, be true to yourself. People are always gonna have their opinions. And like I've definitely heard, like I said, people have asked me like, oh, how do you feel about your dad and Nick? And a couple of my friends even thought that you were his son, because they were like, oh, is that
your older brother?
And I was like, no, that's my dad's boyfriend. And I was like, oh, okay. But like people have like I've heard people around me talk about like, oh, it's a little weird, like, oh, this and that. Like, how do you feel about it? You're the one living with them. And I'm like, man, they're both happy, and like that makes me happy. So honestly, like, just people think it's weird, they're gonna think it's weird. It's like they're not in your relationship. So I would say don't let it affect you too much, or like don't let it get to your head to where you're like making it awkward for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, be true to yourself, do what you love, be with who you love and whoever you want to be.
Oh
yeah,
my heart. That's so nice.
Cause like, yeah, no, I've had like people like there was this one time where I liked a guy and I told my friends and they're like, "You like him?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they didn't think he looked handsome or anything, and I was like, "Okay."
Right.
So like, I kind of understand how it feels like to be a little judged who you like.
Yeah. For who you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing the show or the interview. We may do a part 2 one day. You never know.
maybe.
She's going back up north and then going in the Air Force, hopefully when she gets her basic training dates.
Yeah.
I want nothing but the best for you. I'm super excited about the Fire Academy thing.
Thank you.
When you finish, she's going to do a Fire Academy in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So super proud. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots of good stuff to come. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this couch talk with Charlie and Miss
Pearl.
Pearl. And we will talk to you later.
Cool.
Peace.
Bye.